What's going on YouTube? Putting up a video on a 2018 Honda Rebel. This is a 500cc engine model with ABS. And this is a perspective from a new rider. I got my license probably about 5 weeks ago. Took an MSF course. A week later, went into the dealership and wanted to find a starter bike, and basically I settled on this model. This is the second engine that the Rebel has. There's a 300cc, but this is just the higher option. MSRP with the ABS is around 6,500 US. So I want to just give you my impressions. I've had about 1,400 miles on the bike in about 4 weeks, and again, brand new rider, 40 years old, uh, average size, 180 pound, 5'8". And I think the bike, my summary of it is the perfect bike for a beginner, and it's the perfect bike for commuting in any type of urban environment. In other words, if you don't have too many stretches on an interstate, this is an absolutely ideal bike, because the MPG that I got was probably close to 70 and probably around 65 or so. And the only complaint obviously was, if I wanted to take it on the interstate, it's basically, and you can tell it's a naked bike, so that wind is really going to pick up above 65 miles an hour, to the point where, I wear a 3/4 helmet. I mean, that's pressed up against your forehead. You can mitigate that. You can add a aftermarket windshield. You could wear a full face helmet, but the wind's still probably gonna hit your chest area as well. So this is obviously something you can ride on the interstates if you needed to, but it's certainly nothing long distance and nothing more than 10 or 15 miles, unless you're able to brace that. But if you're a new rider, and I'm trying to make this video for that audience, it's probably something you don't want to tangle with at this moment. So let's just go over just a few parts of the bike that I thought were interesting. I really like the digital display here. The speedometer is digital, doesn't give you an RPM. Now, the pamphlet for this bike says that it's got 6 gears, that you basically have to be in 6th gear by the time you're at 37 miles per hour. That's what the pamphlet says. And I basically followed that guideline. 2nd gear around 10, 3rd at 19 mph, 4th at 25, 5th gear at 31, and again 6th at 37. But for more experienced riders, I'm sure you'll be able to dictate whenever you think it's the best time to shift, but that's how I approached it. Shifting is super easy on this bike, downshifting as well. And basically on day 3, you're gonna have a really good handle on riding this. The only time I really felt sort of a little wobbly on the bike was literally riding it out of the dealership. And I think in that first hour I had a couple of false starts. I took a right turn way too wide, but again, it's pretty forgiving in those terms. And again, the more you ride it, you're going to work out those errors. And again, I still consider myself a new rider. I mean, I've got 1,400 miles under my belt, but man, I'm riding this with confidence, So definitely a bike that you guys should consider to get your training wheels, so to speak. And you may favor it long term as well, or you may just want to cut bait a year after you pick it up and move up to either a bigger cruiser or a standard or sport bike with those really peppy engines. The acceleration on this Rebel isn't probably up to standard. I did go to a demo day a week or two ago, and I was able to ride 2 bikes there. A 950cc Yamaha Scrambler, very high seating position. Again, I'm 5'8", so I was on tippy toes, but I could just tell right away a 950cc engine compared to this 500 was night and day. I mean, it was super. As soon as you hit that throttle, I mean, you're zooming, and you're probably in third gear at 60 mph. And then I had a second bike I was demoing, which was a Yamaha Eluder. This is like one of those bagger bikes. Huge bike, huge engine, 1800cc, and it was fantastic. I mean, it was very cumbersome at low speeds, but once you got on the freeway, I was doing 100 miles an hour and I barely felt anything. So there's so many distinctions in this motorcycle industry that you're going to be able to find the sweet spot, but first you just got to get on something. And I think this is an amazing candidate for a lot of people. Low seat height at 5'8". I mean, I've got plenty of contact with the ground, so stoplights, no issue. And again, the only thing I could really complain about is, you know, if I got a car following me and I'm on a one-lane road, this bike doesn't necessarily give me that acceleration where I can get some distance between me and that other car. And I like to take it out on those country roads, and so that's the only part that I wonder if they'll make just a slightly bigger engine on this model, because visually, and you can tell, it's just a really good looking bike. And I've probably got a lot of remarks around town about it. So as a first bike, this is definitely, it's a little probably pricier than most people want to navigate, especially in the new market. 6,500 again, MSRP. There's discounts out there. I mean, I think I saw a Rebel with about $1,000 discount at one dealership, and if it's a 2-year-old model, like the 2017 was the first year of this particular design, it'll be discounted pretty dramatically. So see if you can find those deals. But at 6,500, there's just a lot of options there. But that's something that you just have to make a personal choice on. But if that's your budget, this is a fantastic bike to just work out the kinks. And I will just leave the comment section open. This is just an impromptu video, so if you have any questions or something I didn't talk about, feel free to leave a comment. I appreciate you guys checking out the video.